I think I walked into a spider web. Plus I'm eating raisins. I guess I got some breaking news. Important. I don't know why, but my day, I don't know. An hour after I got up, I knew I was going to have a good day. And it started off with this. I must have that way. A little over a pound. And it was all wrapped up like this. It was laying in a shopping cart down at Publix, up there where you carry the kid. So I don't know. And there ain't no way I can find out who it belonged to, or whether they even cared whether they lost it or not. But now it's mine. Big old Scrapper's gold nugget. Scrapper's gold. And I'm also going to say that this brass that I've discovered that I'm able to get, that's Scrapper's gold too. Only that I first showed you, that's kind of like 24 karat gold, and this is kind of like 18 karat gold. And I went back over my honey hole, not to pick up anything, but I had some questions. I was kind of wanting to make sure I had a foothold in there where nobody else could come in there and get it from me. And lo and behold, they had 4.5 more buckets full of brass. This stuff here, these belt buckles, which is brass. Well, 3 of the buckets was brass. The other bucket and a half was still pieces that look like brass, but they're actually aluminum. And a friend of mine is an engineer, and he has one of them tester things. He can stick it on the metal and it'll tell him exactly what it is. And those pieces I got that's aluminum, it's not the low grade and it's not the high grade, it's a mid-grade aluminum. I think he called it 2011. So, at any rate, when I got back over to my honey hole, they had those buckets that I could get them, which I did. And I went and I dumped the full buckets out in one pile, just one bucket. I dumped it out, and then I set the bucket on the scales, on my scale. My scales only goes up to 50 pounds. But I set it on my scale, and I started adding these suckers to it. And I only had this one, I had this, I only was doing one full bucket. But when I dumped them out and put the bucket on and zeroed in my bucket, and I started adding them things to it, and lo and behold, this stuff's a lot heavier than I thought it was. And I started adding to it, and the weight started going up pretty quick. And I'm thinking it's always somewhere around 50 pounds in that thing, in one of them buckets. And I wasn't even half full on the bucket, and it was already hitting at 49 point something pounds. So I put a couple more in there to where it maxed out, and said it couldn't weigh it any heavier. So I dumped them out in another pile and put my bucket back on the scales and zeroed it in again, and started adding more to it. And it maxed out again before I could get the remainder in there, so I dumped them out. So I know I had 100 pounds so far. And I started adding what was left. Come up to 13 more pounds and some change, odd ounce or two. So one of them buckets full is 113 pounds. Now this is the brass. So man, I don't know whether to get excited or get nervous. How long will it be before somebody jerks the rug out from under me over there getting that stuff? Because I ain't nothing special to them. Don't hardly anybody over there speak English. And then there was another bucket. I'll show it on the video. Let me show you here if you can see this. I don't know if you can see that or not, but there's a bucket full of these washers. And they're brass. I mean, they're just little tiny things. There's a bucket full of them. And I don't know if there'll be any more of them or not, and I'm going to assume this is plumb full, just like these things here were. But this is way more than these, because these are so close fitting in there, where these things got a lot of dead space between them, and these don't. So I'm going to say the volume weight is going to be more of these. This is probably going to be a 150 pound bucket, because I had to have trouble getting that thing in the car. But I'm telling you what's the truth. It is blowing my mind. I mean, I'm thinking at prices today per pound for the brass right now is I'm thinking I'm gonna get somewhere around $1.30 a pound. So a 5-gallon bucket of these things here, I can't do the math in my head. Well, I got a calculator. I ain't worried about it. Anyway, 113 pounds times $1.35 for red brass, I think's what it's going for now. And I've had to redo my math when I was figuring out about how much I could get out of there if this holds up. I'm thinking I'm going to have somewhere around 2.5 tons of brass. And that's beside the aluminum, the medium grade aluminum I'm getting. So, and then there's a lot of incidental stuff that's laying around over there that they're giving me. These things here, they're stainless steel screws, brand spanking new. Stainless steel screws. And I picked up a number 10 can full of them. That's pretty dang heavy. And it's blowing my mind thinking about it. I hadn't put the buckets on my video. I've kind of been wanting to play this close to the chest, but I ain't gonna worry about it. If you ain't from the local area, you wouldn't be able to find it anyway, but I ain't showing where it's at. But this is gonna be a short video. I found some of these while I was over there and throwed them in the bucket. Got about 15 or 20 of them. I didn't count them, and that's, I don't know if that's considered red brass or yellow brass. I think there's a nickel's difference in the pounds on it. But those weigh dang, right at a pound, about 2 ounces short of a pound, and it's got a screw hole in it. I know that's brass. I'm going to test on it anyway. These things here, I'm going to I'm thinking that's going to be aluminum or zinc. And that's going to be bad. And I just want to run a test on these fans. Now, this turns black, it's aluminum and not zinc. And guess what? That's aluminum. I wonder who that is. Hello? Huh? Who is this, Luther? Hold on, let me take my hearing aid out where I hear. Now I can hear you. Get close. This stuff's a whole lot heavier than it looks like. I found out that the brass, smaller in quantity but heavier than the aluminum. Wound up with a whole lot more weight here than I thought it was. Good Lord. These here, that's aluminum. Those are aluminum that look like brass, but they're aluminum. Okay. Them are little washers, and they're brass. And believe it or not, that's about 50 pounds. Well, that's coming out as aluminum. That's coming out as zinc. And I cannot figure these dang bowls out. I don't know. That, I ain't tested that. Let me see that. I got some belt buckles like this too. Well, gee, I think that's zinc. No, that's aluminum. So, man. 3 pound, 10.4 ounces, 4 pounds, just a tad over 4 pounds. I got to send some of them to Chris and Holly. I told her I would. Man, that shipping's gonna be a little bit. I tell you what, man, I need to start staying on the ball as far as shipping stuff out when I'm supposed to. Anyway, found that over at my honey hole, and I don't know what the heck that. It feels heavy. Feels like it'd be stainless. It's not aluminum. I wonder if that's zinc or stainless. How would you tell? Well, I think I need to go in there and make my video. Damn, that stuff's beautiful. Actually, it may not be worth as much as gold, but personally, I think it's prettier than gold. I'd like to know what the story was on that. Put my hearing aid back in. I hope my prescription for my Levemir insulin pens got those filled, but VA mails me the testing supplies and stuff, and I'm out of the needles, and you're supposed to change that needle every time you use it. You're supposed to put in a new one before you use it again. And I've been using this one that's in it now for the last 4 days. I've been out of needles, so I'd say, well, I'll break down and go buy me some. And they wanted $67 for a little box of them things. I couldn't afford that. But Chris, these are your bows, or not Chris, Holly. Hoppin' Holly's bows. They look silver to me, and they got United Airlines on the back. And them things will shine up really nice. Anyhow, I actually won't take a nap, but if I lay down, that's going to run me sleep in the night. I tell you what, them trees, I love trees. You know, it's